Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Dr. Haynes here. Gonna talk a little bit about some of Module 1 and ACRS 5398. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about inductive and deductive reasoning. I'm going to try and make short videos. That way you don't have to watch an hour and a half, 2 hour long videos. So we're going to do little segments of it. And if you don't have a general understanding of a certain concept, you'll be able to go to that particular video to be able to kind of see what on earth I'm thinking about when I assign these assignments in here. Some of the first assignments that you're immediately going to have that I've already had some questions with regards to are a quantitative and qualitative assignment, to where you basically came up with an idea for research for the pandemic. If you haven't gotten to that point yet, you can look at it here in a little bit. Once we get through some of these different types of research, I'll elaborate a little bit more on that specific assignment. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started real quick. When we're talking about research, okay, we do research because we want to know different things. That's how we started off this module that I posted on there. So since we do want to know different types of things, we have to essentially figure out how, okay, that we're going to be able to accomplish that. How do we know things with regards to research? So let me go ahead and get started with this real quick. We'll go ahead and look at several different types of ways that we know things. Okay, first one is going to be inductive reasoning. All right, if you kind of took a little bit of a look at this module so far and you came across inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning, it can kind of be a little bit difficult to understand at first. So inductive reasoning basically deals with generalizations based on an observation. In other words, because I saw this happen, that means that my thought tells me that every time an occurrence occurs, the same reaction will exist. Let me give you an example here real quick. All right. As an instructor, I look at a lot of different research textbooks to be able to find the exact ones that I feel like are going to do well for class. So the example that I provided in the PowerPoint identifies that a sampling content in each textbook exists. Okay, so therefore I conclude that all research methods textbooks will have sampling as part of the textbook. All right, well, that's a pretty good generalization when you think about it. Another example might very well be that a teacher, let's just say in a high school, knows several student athletes that are good students. So she therefore concludes that all student athletes are good students. Well, those of you that are teachers, you know for a fact that that is not correct. But if we follow through inductive reasoning, we can make the assumption, we are assuming that because they're an athlete, they're going to be a good student. Okay, let me give you another example that you can kind of be able to relate to. Regrettably, in this world, people are judged by their race, creed, or color by certain people, certain individuals, not all, thankfully, but there are people out there that will judge you by what type of clothes you wear, what you look like, what your race is, your creed, your religion, your color. It does not matter. People judge you accordingly. All right, so let me give you an example. You see a person that may be a different ethnicity background than you, for an example, and you see them committing a crime. So automatically in your mind, you're going to have some type of generalization that you base according to that particular ethnic individual. All right. That person there committed a crime. That means all people that are of that ethnicity will commit a crime. All right. That is what we call inductive reasoning. We're basically developing a generalization based on an observation that we had. Now, thankfully, not everybody is like that, but some people still are, regrettably. Okay. So deductive reasoning, on the other hand, arrives at specific conclusions. Okay. We've gone from generalization to a specific conclusion that they base according to different principles, observations, or experiences that they have had. All right. Well, let's talk about a research textbook again. All research textbooks contain a chapter on sampling. So in other words, every research book that I have read to date includes a chapter on sampling. As such, any book that I read that is a research text has to contain a chapter on sampling. Okay, that is deductive reasoning. We deduce that that is going to be the case. All right. Okay. Now, we know that that is not the truth. All right. Because you may very well go pick up another book and take a look at it, and it talks about factorial analysis or something like that. And that is well beyond all of the information that you need to know with regards to sampling. All right. So they may not even touch on it. They expect you to know this already. Okay, here's another example for you. All student athletes are good students. This is kind of relating back to our inductive one. But since Mary is a student athlete, therefore she must be a good student. We are arriving at a specific conclusion to be able to justify our thoughts on that, what we are deducing accordingly. Let me give you another example. This one I'm just throwing off the top of my head. How many of you like beer? How many of you, like me, are worried about your calorie intake? So I like to drink light beer, and I've never met a light beer that I didn't like. So that means to me, if I go to the grocery store and I find a light beer that is on the shelf, that I don't have to worry about whether I'm going to like it or not, because I know for a fact I have deduced that since I like light beer, that I am going to like whatever type of light beer exists. I'm sorry, folks, that one is immediately wrong to me because I do not like Bud Light. Some of you may, you're welcome to. I do not. Anyway, that is deductive reasoning. Okay, so the primary difference between the two, okay, both of them seek to construct a valid argument. They're basing what their thoughts are with regards to deductive and inductive reasoning. All right, so inductive reasoning basically moves from specific instances to generalized conclusions, while deductive reasoning moves from generalized principles down to a very tiny, true, and specific conclusion. Okay, that's what it essentially is. And the next video, we're going to talk about the scientific method. So I hope this is proving to be useful to you, and I look forward to continuing these. Everybody have a great day.